Sends one deep to right center. Brady Anderson running a long way, says, you want me on that wall, you need me on that wall. Take another look at it. Brady leaps and robs a surefire home run. So he takes a home run away and then hits one. Leading off the game, takes the first pitch off Chad O.J., gone. Orioles up 1-0 instead of down 1-0 thanks to Brady. Now, bottom of the third, Anderson's second at-bat against O.J. Double down the left field line. Next batter, Roberto Alomar. And Alomar tells O.J., if it does not fit, I must hit. A two-run shot. Orioles go up 3-0. Bottom of the fourth, runner on first. Cal Ripken at the plate. And Cal hits one deep to left center. Marquis, a long run for Grissom. Marquis hits the wall. B.J. Sherhoff stops at third. Ripken gets a double, and I wonder what it sounds like Grissom hitting wall. I'm just curious. He was okay. Now one out. Lenny Webster grounds to third. Matt Williams gets B.J. at home for the second out. Next batter, Mike Bordick, and O.J. gets Bordick looking to get out of the jam nicely. Top of the sixth, Cleveland trying to come back. Runner on first, that being Marquis. Bip Roberts at the plate. The Bipper lines to Cal, who doubles Grissom off of first. Bottom of the sixth, two outs. Runner on third for Lenny Webster. And Webster hits one deep to left, and Brian Giles does his best Brady imitation and robs him of a home run. Another look, we almost had a Jeffrey Mayer redo. Come on, folks. Realize where you are in relation to the wall. Top of the eighth, no outs, runner on first for Sandy Alomar Jr. And Robbie's brother grounds into the 1-6-3 double play. 3-0 to the ninth when Erickson hands it over to Randall Kay. And Myers gets Bip Roberts swinging for the second out. And Omar Vizquel looking to end it. And the Orioles win 3-0 and take game one in a taut 2 hours and 33 minutes. Anderson and Alomar was
it was primarily of his own doing. Omar Vizquel takes one on the arm. Next batter, Manny Ramirez. Chris Hoyles wants the fastball away. He got it in the middle. Ramirez drills it deep. Perhaps remembering Brady brought it back, said, go get that one, big boy. Put it up in the seats. A 2-0 lead for the Indians just like that. After a single to Matt Williams, Dave Justice takes one for the ball club. Ray Miller not happy with Key's control. Obviously no purpose to those hit batsmen. 2 on, 1 out for Sandy Alomar Jr. Little sibling rivalry. Robbie makes the play. Palmeiro the nice pickup. Matt Williams now on third. DJ on second for Tony Fernandez. Breaking ball appears to maybe get away. That's what Matt Williams thinks. He races for the plate, but the ump, Jim Joyce, says no. Hit Fernandez. So Key ties a postseason record with 3 hit batsmen in 1 inning. Frank Tanana of the Tigers also did that in '87. So the bases were loaded for Kevin Seitzer on a 3-0 pitch. He got fastball strike 1, fastball strike 2, and then sit on it, Potsy. 2-0 after the top of the first. Top of the second now, Vizquel up again. A little lazy fly ball into left. Here comes B.J. Surhoff, and that's B.J. getting it done. Bottom of the second, still 2-0. 2-0 game. 1 on for Cal Ripken. He never hit a home run in the postseason before. 91 at-bats, his first postseason job, a 2-run shot. After the 2-run homer.
I smell it, did you know?
Well, maybe so. Cal got a phone call, too early for the president, probably some guy selling something. Bottom of the third, runners on second and third. Palmeiro punched out of there by Charles Nagy. 2-2 game after 3. How do you sniff that, did you know, from that far away? Top of the fourth, Key's in trouble again. Couple of men on, 1 out. Manny Ramirez, a slow roller. Here comes Cal. Oh, look at the turn by Alomar. 5-4-3, and we're still 2-2. Top of the fifth now. Key's out of there. Kamenecki's in. Matt Williams, a little pop foul. Palmeiro. And he sticks the landing. That's worth another little peek right over the tarp. Good play by Rafael Palmeiro. Bottom of the sixth, the bases were juiced for Mike Bordick. They got him for his glove. He's been swinging a pretty good bat in the postseason. Fastballs, a 3-1 count, and the chefs see a steady diet of straight fastballs. Strike 2, but on the next pitch, Bordick has his man timed and slaps it into right field. Manny Ramirez chops it up out there. Hoyles would stop at third, but 2 runs would score on the play. It's 4-2 Baltimore. Top 8 now, Jim Thome pinch hitting. Marquis Grissom, their version of Mr. October, on deck. And Thome checks his swing. Yes, he did, said Larry McCoy. 2 on now with 2 out, but the replay very, very close. You know what Davy Johnson thought. Instead, here's Marquis. He's been battling the flu. He ran into the wall in game 1, 2 on, 2 out. And he is a lumberjack, and he's okay. A career .344 hitter in the postseason. Marquis is pumped. Benitez not happy about it, and of course, neither is Davy Johnson. Benitez, of course, gave up a grand slam to Bell last year in the playoffs. It's 5-4 Indians now. Bottom 8-1 off for Ossenmacher, and he got Cal Ripken, although Cal did not enjoy the call. You saw it low, you saw it live, you saw it now. After getting Geronimo Baroa out, Mike Hargrove pulls out Ossenmacher. 2 outs, Mike Jackson in to face Chris Hoyles. 2-2 pitch. Nasty slider. 5-4 Indians after 8. Hoyles had a seat. The O's have a man on in the bottom of the ninth for Eric Davis. He's the winning run. A grounder to Vizquel, and that will do it for the game. Davis left to get chemotherapy. A Hollywood script sitting there waiting on him, but he couldn't.
Very hard for the hitters. Bottom 1, Mussina. Pip Roberts, down he goes. Next man up, Omar Vizquel, down he goes. Third man up, Manny Ramirez, down he goes. So Mussina strikes out the side, the sun giving hitters problems. Top of the second, Oral Hershiser, 39 years old, still got it. Rafael Palmeiro down, B.J. Surhoff down, Cal Ripken down, Hershiser striking out the side in his first opportunity. Top of the third, no score. Harold Baines on first. Mike Bordick K's looking. Sandy Alomar guns down Baines, trying to steal second. Cleveland turned an LCS record 4 double plays. The field getting a little more shade. Bottom of the third, Mussina K's Brian Giles. Next man up, Marquis Grissom. Third man up, Bip Roberts. That's twice now. Mussina has struck out the side. Bottom 6, no score. Field is almost all in the shade, but still trouble for the hitters as Mussina K's Marquis Grissom. Next man up, Bip Roberts, down he goes. Third man up, Omar Vizquel. Big swing and a miss, number 14 from Mussina. Third time he struck out the side. Top 7, Hershiser takes over. Eric Davis back from the cancer treatment on first. 2 outs, and down goes Rafael Palmeiro. Hershiser excited about that. Bottom 7, Mussina's turn. Manny Ramirez, down he goes. Mussina's 15th strikeout. That's a new LCS record. Still bottom 7, 1 out. Jim Thome's on first. Dave Justice, a shot to center, and Brady Anderson was a tad fooled. He got a poor jump on it, and it falls for a single, so we have runners on first and second. Next batter, Matt Williams. Base hit up the middle. Jim Thome comes around to score, and finally a run. It's 1-0 in favor of Cleveland. Next man up for the Indians, Sandy Alomar. Did he get it through? No. Brother Robbie says, no, you don't. On to first in time. Top of the 8th now. It's B.J. Surhoff. The fly to center. Omar Vizquel goes out. Grissom comes in. I got it. You got it. I got it. Who's got it? Vizquel has got it with a spectacular grab. Top 9, 1-0 Cleveland. Jeffrey Hammonds to second. Rebele stops running. Great play because Fernandez never tags him. Goes to first for the out, and then Thome's throw to get Rebele, hits Rebele in the back, and therefore he's safe. And the next man up, Brady Anderson with Rebele on second. Easy fly to center. Marquis Grissom, the hero in game 2. I have no clue. Over his head. Unbelievable. The game is tied at 1 because Rebele comes in to score. Hershiser can't believe it. Still top 9. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Palmeiro goes down as Jose Mesa gets him to end the inning. Bottom 9. Manny Ramirez on first. We're still tied at 1. Jesse Orozco picks him off. Ramirez is picked off. Mike Hargrove, man. Extra innings now. Top 11, bases loaded for Palmeiro. Alvin Moorman on in relief. Pitcher after pitcher for both teams. Down goes Palmeiro. Bottom 11. Runners on first and second for Kevin Seitzer. Lenny Webster can't find the ball. Omar Vizquel goes to third. We have no outs. Seitzer still up. Rips one to third. Cal Ripken, spectacular dive. On to first in time. Bottom 12 now. Marquis Grissom on first. Tony Fernandez singles to right. Grissom going for third. Here's the throw. He's in there, so we got runners on first and third with 1 out. Next man up, Omar Vizquel. They're going to squeeze, believe it or not. Marquis Grissom is ruled safe. It was a pass ball. The Indians win 2-1. Lenny Webster couldn't hold the pitch. Davy Johnson says, hold on a minute. He fouled it off. You can't allow this to stand. He fouled it off, but it could be a good call. Vizquel missed it, Webster missed it, and Grissom comes in to score the winning run. Mike Hargrove, just the way I drew it up.
Orioles leading 1-0. Indians with a runner on first, and Matt Williams taking Scott Erickson way back, but Brady Anderson racing over and making the play. We look at it again because we have editing equipment. Next batter, Sandy Alomar. Quadrangular, 2-run home run. Straight away, pretty much to center. Can't get that one. Indians go up by a count of 2-1 to the top of the third. And Jarrett Wright facing Brady Anderson, who made that big catch. That's out in a hurry. Solo homer, game tied at 2 apiece. 2 batters later, Harold Baines is your man. 1 runner on, Baines. A lot of homers going on here. 2-run job, 4-2, the Orioles in front. The next batter, Rafael Palmeiro. And with that, you get egg roll. Back-to-back homers, 3 in the inning. Orioles go up by a count of 5-2. Wright had to go away after the third, gave up 3 homers and 5 runs, and he has a jacket on. Bottom of 4, Indians down 5-2. Runner at second, 2 out. Marquis Grissom, little bloop. Anderson's coming. My bad. Brian Giles come to score. Indians cut it 5-3. Next batter, Grissom's the third. Bip Roberts, chopper. Roberto Alomar making the play. It ends the inning. Great play. Bottom of 5, Indians down 5-3. Manny Ramirez. It is back. It is back. It's not coming back. It hit a guy in the back. Pretty impressed. 5-4. 1 batter later, runners at first and second. Alomar. Sandy Alomar, that is. He's going to left center. Tomey's coming. Alomar's third rib of the game, and it's tied at 5 apiece. They're going back and forth. They'll do it for Erickson. Arthur Rhodes in as runners at first and third. Giles is your batter. Low. Loads the bases. The next batter, Grissom. And that thing's going away. David Justice has come to score. And so is Alomar, chasing right behind him because the ball's loose. And he's in, and he's scoring. Beat the plate. 2 runs on the wild pitch. 7-5 Indians. And Davey Johnson is much displeased. Top of the 7th, Indians up 7-6. Mike Jackson to Cal Ripken. Runners on the corners. Ripken, Fernandez, flips to a little low. Ends the threat. Jackson gets out of that jam to the 9th. Orioles down 1. Gotta have it. Mesa walks Alomar. The next batter, Baroa. He goes to right. And the Orioles threatening again to tie this thing. They got runners on the corners, first and third, which is like runners on the corners, isn't it? Next batter, Eric Davis, blown away. 1 out. Palmeira's your next batter. Singles off of Mesa's leg. Fernandez has no play. Alomar's coming to score, and it's tied at 7 apiece to the bottom of the 9th. Ramirez leading things up. Alan Mills throwing. Not throwing well. Walked him. David Johnson yanks him. Here comes Jesse Orozco in. The next batter, Kevin Seitzer, should be bunting, and bunting well. It died right in front of the plate. He moves Ramirez to second, and there's just 1 out. Now first and seconds and 2 out. Armando Benitez against Sandy Alomar. Alomar cranks it left center. Ramirez is coming. The Indians are winning, and once again dramatically, the Indians 8-7. Mesa 1-0 in this series now. It's a 3-1 series. The Cleveland Indians can move to the World Series with the win on.
Roberts on second, 1 down. Scott Kamenecki hits Manny Ramirez with a 2-1 pitch. Ramirez not happy. Sandy Alomar says, let's make sure everybody stays calm here. Kamenecki tells Ramirez, just go to first, will you? And he gets 2 on, 1 out. 2 batters later, Dave Justice grounds to first, so Indians can't take advantage. Top of the 3rd, no score, 1 out. Chad O.J. working to Chris Hoyles. Base hit to left, 1 out single. Now 2 outs in the 3rd. Brady Anderson at the plate. He pulls it to right. Hoyles at 3rd, so there's runners at the corners with 2 down. O.J.'s in trouble after a walk to Alomar, loading the bases, and it's Geronimo Baroa at the plate. Delivering. A base hit. Past the diving Omar Vizquel. 2 runs score. Alomar, however, as the throw gets cut off, is gunned down at 3rd base. Still 2-0 Baltimore. Bottom 4, still 2-0. Brian Giles into the hole. Alomar gets a glove on it, but can't make the play. Dave Justice goes to 3rd. Giles to 2nd. Marquis Grissom up 2 on, 2 out. Back to the box. A leaping Kamenecki snares it and ends the inning, and thus the threat. Bottom of the 5th, still 2-0. Bip Roberts is frozen by Kamenecki. Kamenecki went 5 innings. Davey Johnson then had to pull him because of stiffness in Kamenecki's right elbow. So on comes Jimmy Key, a rare bullpen appearance for Jimmy Key. Bottom 7, 1 down. Indians down 2-0. Marquis Grissom with a drive that is high, it is deep, and it is caught on the warning track by Brady Anderson. So still 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Manny Ramirez. Strike 3 looking on the outside corner. Next batter is the pinch hitter, Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer watches strike 3 called. Top 9. Paul Ossenmacher on facing Eric Davis. O's looking to get a couple of insurance runs here. Here it comes, and there it goes as Davis golfs one out. And that ball is gone. Solo shot, 3-0 Baltimore. After a Palmeiro double, Cal Ripken Jr. The always clutch Cal singles in Palmeiro. 4-0 Orioles on the Ripken RBI. A couple of insurance runs that would prove to be very, very critical, because in the 9th, here come the Indians. Randy Myers gives up a leadoff base hit to David Justice. Then Matt Williams follows with a double to the gap in left center. Justice scores from first. It's a 4-1 game. Now with 1 down, Tony Fernandez. He laces one down the left field line. That's another double. Back-to-back doubles, and now it's a 4-2 game. The Orioles trying to hang on. Next batter is Grissom. A shot. Myers has no play. Runners at the corners now. Randy Myers is coming apart at the seams here, but a strikeout on Roberts, and Grissom steals the base. 2 out. Runners at second and third. Alomar into the hole on Vizquel and makes the play. Robbie Alomar comes up huge to end the game as the Orioles do hang on.
On the top of the first, Tony Fernandez only in the lineup after bopping a BP pitch off Bip Roberts' thumb. Still, Mussina gets him in the first. Bottom of the first, after Charles Nagy walks Brady Anderson, Robbie Alomar. Ground 1 up the middle, but the gold glove and golden legs of Omar Vizquel turn to the 10th double play by the Tribe. Still bottom of the first. Runners at first and second with 2 out. Rafael Palmeiro, a .326 lifetime hitter against Charlie Nagy, but whiffs. Nagy escapes as the Orioles leave 2 on. That would become a story. Mussina, tough even without the shadows. Gets Matt Williams swinging in the second. Gets Jim Thome waving in the second. Mussina gets Brian Giles looking in the third. Then gets Marquis Grissom swinging in the third. Mussina retired the first 12 Indians again. Bottom of the fourth, following a Cal Ripken double. Chris Hoyles rips one to third. Matt Williams, the diving stab. He'll get Hoyles as the Orioles strand another runner. 6 in the first 4 innings. Top of the 5th, after Dave Justice's leadoff double breaks up the no-hitter, Mussina blows it right by Williams. 10 strikeouts at this point, 36 for the postseason. The next hitter, Jim Thome, still 0 for Camden Yards. Rips one to center field, but Brady runs it down. The basket catch in front of the wall. Tribe can't believe it. Mussina 8 innings of 1-hit ball on 3 days rest. Bottom of the 7th, 2 more O's on. Robbie Alomar drops down the bunt, but Matt Williams makes the great play, getting Mike Bordick at third. 1 down. Next hitter, Geronimo Berroa, grounds into the 5, 4, 3 double play. The 11th turned by the Tribe, tying an LCS record. Orioles have stranded 7 in scoring position in 7 innings. Bottom of the 8th, Nagy still walking the tightrope. Hits Rafael Palmeiro on the leg with 1 out. Mike Hargrove on the phone to the pen. Palmeiro, meanwhile, trying to call off a pinch runner, but Jeffrey Hammonds replaces him. Palmeiro goes to the bench, not happy. Hammonds then steals second without a throw. The winning run, maybe, at second base with 1 out in the 8th. Palmeiro now thinks it's not such a bad play to Davey Johnson. After a ground out, put runners at first and third with 2 out. Mike Jackson on the hill gets Chris Hoyles to bounce one to the vacuum cleaner at third. Williams gets the force at second, barely. B.J. Surhoff can't believe the call by Jim Joyce. Let's see it again. Surhoff is out on a very close play. Orioles waste another opportunity. 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Nagy likes that. Top of the 9th, Tribe with runners at first and second and 1 out. Randy Myers against David Justice. Justice whiffs. 2 down. Next hitter, Matt Williams. This is what they got him from the Giants for, but he looks at a called third strike, still no score. We go to extra innings. Top of the 10th, Sandy Alomar whacks one up the middle, but little brother Robbie collects it and throws him out from short center field. That's like a softball short fielder. Watch this play. The gold glove on display and the golden arm as well.
as one brother gets another. Top of the 11th. Tony Fernandez up with 1 out. Remember, he's not even supposed to be playing, but he rips the Armando Benitez pitch way out in right field. His first homer in 133 postseason at-bats. 1-0 Tribe. Davey Johnson can't believe it. Neither can Mussina. The Oriole bullpen coughs up another one. Bottom of the 11th, 2 out. Brady Anderson at first. The 2-2 pitch by Jose Mesa to Robbie Alomar is called outside, but the 3-2 pitch is a strike. Alomar can't believe it. Mesa is excited. Must have seemed like forever for Mike Hargrove, but the Indians win it. Remember, last year, Alomar sent the Indians home with an extra inning homer off Mesa. Not this time. The Orioles are on their way home despite 98 regular season wins. Tony Fernandez, who wasn't supposed to start, is the hero, and the Indians are on their way to Miami despite getting only 3 hits, just one off Mussina, who fanned 25 and 15 innings, allowed 1 earned run, only 4 hits, but got nothing in his 2 starts. The Orioles stranded 14. Charlie Nagy said he'd have to pitch the game of his life, and he did, scattering 9 hits and 3 walks in 7 1/3. The Oriole bullpen lost all 4 one-run games.